someone put something on my face, and then I don't remember anything. I remember waking up on the bed, handcuffed, all fours with the bricks underneath my knees, and that's all I remember. Cuts, abrasions, infections from where they were peeing on me. Burning me with cigarettes, cutting me with razors. So I had all that on my arms. He broke my back.
So that's why you had the surgery on your back? Yep.
I had 2 reconstructive surgeries. They had to put my spine back together again. I had to learn how to walk again.
The brutality of humanity by humanity is something that we hear about more and more often. It is especially disturbing when the brutality is directed toward a defenseless child or the elderly in the form of abuse and neglect. The impact on society is tremendous and long-lasting. This is episode 2 of the Homeless Culture Podcast, and I am your host, Vince Jones. Each week, the Homeless Culture Podcast will explore the personal stories, daily lives, and survival of the homeless in Uptown Charlotte. The Homeless Culture will also bring to you the views and opinions of city officials, business owners, and residents of Central Charlotte of their homeless neighbors. This is an unbiased, raw, and uncensored journey into the homeless culture. You're about to meet Becky. Becky is a 36-year-old child that lives in a tent in the woods. She has never had a life as an adult, as we understand adult life to be. I met Becky as I was producing episode 1 of this podcast. At first, the conversation began as what I perceived as a tall tale of exaggeration, a sympathy story of the homeless. She was eager to talk to me, so I began to record our conversation. She was frantically hurried, trying to get her story out as quickly as she could. It was like she was worried that I might leave before she could get it all out. What I began to hear was a scattered, crazy story that left me confused.
I'm trying to get out propane tanks for my heater. I have no heat tonight in my tent, so I got to come up with $20 for...
He's doing interviews on people that are homeless.
And that's my situation.
Yeah.
I just got approved for my disability. I'm trying to wait on my back pay to come in, but they're taking their sweet time because I'm homeless.
Right.
So I can't work. So right now I stay in a tent, and I'm trying to get propane tanks. I need $20 so I could get propane tanks for my heater.
Where do you stay?
In the woods by the men's shelter.
Gotcha.
So I'm trying to get up that right now.
Okay.
So we're done or not? Y'all done?
Well, we're still kind of, but...
We're still sitting.
Yeah, go ahead and...
Well, he knows my story. That's why he introduced you to me. Is it on?
Yeah, that's on.
Well, my name is Rebecca Welder. When I was 15 years old, I got kidnapped. I was held captive for almost 15 years. My family just found me. That's why I'm in Charlotte. I'm homeless and disabled. I have mental and physical disability due to the kidnapping, and the government's not trying to give me my money. I have no address, and I don't know how to read. I don't have any agencies out here that'll help me because I'm not from here. And
where are you from?
I'm from New Jersey.
Okay.
My family just found me, so I mean, I'm here because of that.
Tell me a little bit about your family.
Well, my mom was on drugs, and my dad was too. That's the cause of me getting kidnapped. I was sold for heroin. My mom.
You were sold for heroin?
Yes.
How old were you?
I was 15.
Okay.
I was all over the news.
And how old are you now?
I'm 35.
Okay.
My family just found me. When I got released from being kidnapped, I couldn't find them, and I didn't know where they were. So right now, there's 8 shelters for women, and there's 52 for men. 7 of the 8 shelters for women are drug rehabilitation centers, women that are trying to get clean. Since I don't do drugs, I can't get into them, even if they have a bed open. They can't do nothing for me. And then the only other shelter I can go to has bed bugs, and it's infested with them. And not only that,
where's that one?
Spratt Street. It's the crisis center for women. But not only that, they allow anyone there. Anyone I'm talking about. It don't matter. They could be
men too.
Homicidal. It don't matter.
just for women.
Just for women, but they'll let anyone in there. I mean, when I stayed there 2 days and almost got robbed twice and raped once. Go out every day trying to get propane tanks for my heater. I stay in a tent. And food money, I go hold a sign. That's the only option. I don't went to Medicist. I don't went to Crisis. I don't went to Dove's Nest. I don't went to Miracle House of Hope. I've been to, as I'm naming them off, Urban Ministries. I applied for the apartments through the Urban Ministries. I went to area funds. I put the footwork out there.
So Urban Ministries hadn't helped you either, really?
I mean, they're trying to get me into an apartment, but it takes up to 6 months, and they're trying to affiliate somebody with me, like a therapist or something, to maybe help me learn how to survive out here with me being held so long.
Right.
But they don't have the agencies for kidnap and sex trafficking victims. They don't have shelters for that. They don't have. I mean, it's
you don't
really
have anything to go to for that.
Yes. So I'm like out here, you know.
What's up, bro?
So that's why today I got to get propane tanks because look at the weather. I can't sleep outside without getting propane tanks, and I gotta eat.
Right.
You know.
So you got some heaters?
Yeah, I got a propane heater I got for Christmas. My whole family, they don't have much money, but my family all chipped in and got me one. It was $120. So that was my Christmas present. You know them little 16 ounce?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've used them before.
Yeah, the green cans.
Yeah.
That's what I gotta
Swirl
get.
in.
Yeah, I gotta get them, and one lasts like a couple hours depending on how cold it is, because we're outside,
Right.
so it pulls out more heat. You know.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's why I'm trying to get up like $20, $25 so I could get my propane tanks and something to eat tonight.
Tell me a little bit about where you're staying.
I stay in the woods in a tent. It's right behind a men's shelter, and it is dangerous. The other day, came back to my tent. I have a lock on my tent, and right there by the zipper, someone untied it and fell asleep in my tent. I walked in, and someone was laying on my bed. A man, I don't know.
How'd you handle that?
I had one of my other campmates that stay in the area help me get him out of there because I'm not a man and I'm disabled. I had surgery in my back. I can't fight.
Right.
I got 15 stitches in my back right now, and I got to go walk to get tanks. But
Yeah.
but Target got him, or Dick's, but I got to get the money
So
up.
how were y'all able to get him out of there?
Well, the neighbor had to calm him down and talk to him and get him to where he would leave, but it wasn't pretty. It tore a hole in my tent. I had to tape it up, so now I'm getting cold air coming in there. So I have to get the heat. I have no other choice. I got to get propane tanks. I can't. I have asthma, and I have 3 aneurysms from being hit in the head with a bat from being kidnapped.
I arranged to meet Becky another day to hear her entire story. As time grew closer for us to meet, I prepared my mind for the interview and prepared some questions to try and keep the conversation together. In doing so, I developed some assumptions of what happened to Becky. The assumptions that I developed in my mind soon went out of the window as we began to talk. Our discussion began with Becky going through her early life, and she asked that some things not be mentioned since she is trying to reconcile with her family. Other than those family-related issues, we covered her early childhood, kidnapping, her 13 years of captivity and torture. The most amazing part of our talk was her maintaining that if she hadn't had an early childhood of turmoil, she would not have been able to survive 13 years of rape and torture.
We were bad kids. We were bad kids, I ain't gonna lie. I was a bad child when I was a kid, but I didn't really have the parents to tell me what's right and wrong either because they were on drugs. But, I mean, I put it like this, let me put it like this. If I didn't go through what I went through as a child, the hardships, what I went through, like the foster care, the separation from my dad being in jail all the time, I mean, all that, the survival, going from hotel to hotel, living under bridges at 8 years old, I mean, running from foster care system, my dad being transported, expedited, and cops breaking in our house and throwing my dad on the ground, and I mean, that's what I lived as a kid. You know, my dad ODing, you have to put ice down his pants. I mean, at 8 years old, I mean, that's what I lived. If I wouldn't have lived that, I want to survive the kidnapping. So I'm not talking bad about my past. I mean, God does things for a reason. That's how I look at it. If I didn't suffer as a kid, I wouldn't be here right now.
Right.
If I had everything I wanted as a kid, if I went to school like I was supposed to, if I had shoes on my feet when I was supposed to, some days, we didn't eat, but some days we did. You know what I'm saying? But if I didn't have those experiences as kids, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't have been able to survive the kidnapping.
Right.
I never had stability. If people don't understand that, they don't until they hear my story. I never had a stable home. Maybe for a few months, like 8 months, and then we would move again. That's not stable. You know what I mean?
Did you go to school?
72. Different schools, 3 a year.
Wow. Yeah.
Half the time he didn't go to school. My brother didn't graduate. He didn't go to school after the 6th grade. You see what I'm saying?
Right. So you didn't have time to really make friends? I mean, if you did, it was really, really temporary, and then you had to go move somewhere else. So while you were going through that, did you, at one point...
I was the nerd in school, so basically I got bullied on top of everything else I was going through at home.
Were you shy?
No, I just wore glasses, and I was heavy set, so everyone made fun of me.
Right.
And I was a smart kid.
So you liked school?
Then my dad owed this guy some money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the full story of it because, but I know he owed him some money, and this guy rode a bicycle and was stalking me, trying to threaten me. He was drunk, blah, blah, blah. So he ran me over with a bike. One day, chased me down the road. Broke my leg in 3 places. I had a compound fracture. I was 8 years old. I was in the hospital for 2.5 months. I remember the only year that I could actually enjoy my summer, I was in a wheelchair. The most stable time in my life, I was in a wheelchair. Couldn't go swimming, couldn't play, couldn't do nothing. But...
So did your parents abuse you?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to say that now.
So it was just basically...
My mom, I think it was the drugs that had it. You know what I'm saying? The effect, because now that I'm an adult, I understand. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I had an addiction with reefer. When I first got released from kidnapping, I smoked reefer. That was the only thing that calmed my nerves. That was the only thing that took the pressure away. 'Cause when I first came home, I was not like I am now.
Right.
I was nowhere near like I am now. I could not talk to nobody. I could not walk in parking lots. I couldn't get in a certain type of cars. If there was 2 or more people in the car, I would not get in it. I wouldn't go to doctor offices. I wouldn't go in closed-in spaces. I wouldn't talk to anybody. Literally, I would shuttle away. If you touched me, I would run in a corner, and literally, that's how bad it was. It took a lot for me to get where I am now. You know what I mean? It took me learning with my family how to not be a victim. I'm free. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I could live my life now. I have a second, third chance, whatever. But going back to what I was saying about the situation, about the stability, that's what I was going with the whole story. The reason why I need so much help, it's not like I'm asking someone to do everything for me. Show me how to do it. I never had a bank account. I never had a house in my name. I never had lights in my name. I never had any credit cards in my name. I don't have a credit. I don't have no credit at all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know how to start any of that. I don't know how to get into a house. I don't even know how to live in a house.
Right.